19 people can fit on those jokers. That's fun. Yeah. It's a fun day. Yeah.
I was on a 12-person one like just a month and a half ago. Lake Travis.
All right.
Pretty badass. First time I've ever like seen or being around that too.
So welcome everyone. Leave my drink up there. Glad everybody's here. If you wouldn't mind.
I wouldn't mind.
That'd be very nice. Okay. I am Trent Armstrong, and you are at the Dallas After Effects user group. I'm so glad you're here. If you're watching online, you can go to DallasAEUG.com. And if I can figure out how to get to just the Dallas After Effects user group site. Uh-oh. Are we fully plugged in over there?
I didn't do it that time.
I didn't look at it.
Right, he's on.
Try not to glance at it again.
Yeah.
A heavy glance.
All right, so thank you. So there we are. And tonight we are going to look at something I wanted to cover last time. I just ran out of time. Someone came to me and just said, I need somebody to fix this girl's skin. I had no idea who this guy was. I had no idea if anything, more could come of this. But I thought it would be an interesting little project. And the clips are short, so I was like, okay, sure, dude. You sound like you're in a jam. Let's see if we can work this out. Turns out it's like a spec trailer that some folks are making to see if they can get some funding for a feature, like an independent feature.
Right.
So anyway, we have some footage here, and what we're going to do is try and remove the acne from this girl's face. And there's a possibility that you could, have mole removal or different colored eyeballs or blink removal. If somebody is not supposed to blink in a situation, things like that. And so hopefully this will not just spark acne removal for you guys. Hopefully it, possibly could be something else. Okay, so just popping into After Effects, because we have CC17, my first thought was, what if I use the face tracker?
Yeah.
Right? But the face tracker needs a really good image and a very specific kind of image.
Two eyeballs?
Say again?
It wants 2 eyes.
Yeah, it needs 2 eyeballs, and it asks for a like position 0. So it wants whatever you're tracking to be looking face on at the camera, and then it goes, oh, I see, that's a face. Now whatever the face is going to do, I can track that. So face tracker's out. The next thing, you guys want to guess? The next thing I would use is Mocha. So I'm going to turn on, she yells some swear words during this, and that's not appropriate for our meeting, so it's not appropriate for much.
It's a taboo abomination.
Right. So what I want to do is track her face, and really all I need to do is replace this area like here, right there. So I'm going to kind of visually analyze this and see if I can get a good solid image that I can mess with. What we're going to do is open Photoshop, and I think maybe want it where see her dimple right here. I don't necessarily want that. So maybe right there, it's brightish,
Sharp.
pretty sharp,
Yeah.
no motion blur. So I think I'll use that image right there. And I'm gonna go, there's Photoshop. So I'm going to go composition, save frame as, and this has a hotkey. It's Option Apple S. So I could also do Option Apple S like that to add it to my render queue. We render out of After Effects. We don't export out of After Effects. I have current settings. Probably would be better off with best settings. And I've got PNG set up here. You can see that there is a long list of things here. Your After Effects may not look like that. So what we're going to do later is talk about how to make the settings you want show up in these menus and how to create your own custom settings. Okay?
Why is it rendering out, not exporting out? What's the difference?
Well, exporting is taking video content and moving it off. After Effects builds all the effects and the transitions and all that, and renders a frame, and then saves that frame. So you render out of After Effects, and you like export out of Premiere or Final Cut. Right?
Okay.
There was at some point in here, I think it was this menu here, instead of add to render queue, there was also an export button. Jeremy, you may have an export button in your After Effects.
Okay.
I would encourage you not to use it.
Okay.
Because there's a difference between exporting and rendering. All right, enough of that. So now we're going to go out
Hey, real
here.
quick, do you mind if we like switch these lights, these backlights?
Do what you want. You can lower them, whatever. All right. So I'm going to call this skin correction PNG. That's right. And I'll just hit enter to render out. It's pretty loud. Thank you very much. At least it wasn't the sheep. All right.
The sheep.
Yeah, when your render fails and it goes, bah! There's nothing worse than that, and there's nothing funnier than hearing it happen to somebody else down the hall. Like at full blast. Because you know that they just peed a little bit. All right, so we're going to open here. That's not it. There we go. Here, skin correction, like that. Okay. I could do color correction on this, but I want it to match when I go back. So if I were going to color correct, I would probably color correct before coming out of After Effects, right?
Pardon me just a second. One quick second.
Yep. We're going to keep going, okay?
Okay.
So let's see. I'm going to duplicate this by hitting Command J. Some of these in Photoshop, I know the hotkeys, and some of them I don't. If I know the hotkey, I probably don't know where to find it in the menu system. I'll just apologize right away. All right. So I will also create another layer and just, I don't know, give it a different tint here because I'm going to cut this area out. Okay. So first of all, we're going to get the stamp tool, and I'm going to hold Option and Control for my brush, and I can resize my brush, and up and down makes it sharper or softer, and then left and right makes it bigger and smaller. So I think I'm going to do like about that right there, and just kind of pick similar places and just start correcting this our skin here. this. You guys get to see some exciting.
Have you ever used the other like
The healing brush or something like that.
not the healing brush, but like the patch? There's like a couple of different.
Yeah, so
You
let's
ever
try
use
that.
those?
Let's try. We'll take just for fun.
Like I never used those,
Go
but I
here.
do use the healing.
And
but like
so, gotta help me out here. Basically, I do this kind of thing, I think. Like that. And then I do a fill. Content aware fill. Is that what I'm doing?
This will give you what you want.
It might, or it might be
Yeah.
a really bizarre.
Let's see what it does.
See what it is.
Yeah.
Blah!
oh man.
Okay, so
Good.
this is for the
Yes.
zombie. This is for the zombie
Yeah, there.
film.
Yeah, sometimes it's magic and sometimes it's.
So what's another one here? Healing.
Yeah,
Brush.
yeah,
The
it's
healing,
down.
and then there's like another one that's just like
Is it
I don't
here?
use- No.
It's underneath where the stamp was.
Yeah. It's like extra. What's your
No,
phrase?
go to the stamp.
right there, and then there should
That's
be
cool.
extra
Cool.
drop down.
There should be a drop down.
Come on, guy.
Maybe not.
Wake comes out of palms.
There it goes.
Yeah.
Pattern stamp.
Yeah.
Where's
No,
the other one?
no, it's like a.
Yeah, I know what
I
you're talking
think
about.
I think it's hidden from the toolbar.
I can't see the tools. There.
Does the toolbar extend?
Magic eraser.
Yeah.
No.
It should be its
Change it.
own button.
Man, if this were real time, she'd have been healed by now.
I know.
Oh, there you go.
Spot healing.
Yeah,
Healing
like,
brush?
yeah,
Healing
yeah.
brush.
Any of those three, the spot healing. I mean, those are the three that I've kind of played around with here and there.
But like the rest of them, like.
Yeah, try that one.
So we'll try this one. What do we do? Do
Yeah.
we
Make it big enough to cover the spot,
the whole spot
and then you should just be able to click on it.
like that?
No.
So we'll cover that spot right there. Click on it.
What did it?
You
Oh,
got it.
okay.
Like that.
Nice.
Is that
What's
better?
that one called?
Spot healing.
Spot healing.
Now just be aware that it's sampling
It's sampling
the
around
area
it.
around.
Right.
Yeah.
Where you brush, so.
That one's usually pretty good, like for blending the areas outside that black area.
Okay.
To each other.
Yeah, it doesn't look like
Yeah.
photoshopping.
Yeah, like if you were to like that hot spot that you just were on,
Uh-huh.
now you don't have the hot spot. So that's the only bad thing is like if you want to keep that hot spot, now you'll have to put that hot spot back in.
Okay.
Or something.
This is just the dark arts. This is very scary. That is like magic in real time.
Magic in real time. So I think
Hashtag magic.
maybe go like that as well.
One question I do have is why is it so dark?
Their footage is
So we can see the TV. Well, why is the footage so dark?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
again, the
Like her,
footage.
Well-
her head is backlit. Like
It
So,
really
yeah,
is.
I will show you.
Whoops.
It's nighttime.
I will show you this if I.
Okay.
So that's just with a little bit of levels on it.
Mm-hmm.
It looks way better.
Mhm.
I think maybe just because
Boy.
there's a
It's
lot
still
of
exposed.
range in this shot. All right, so there we are. We're healed up. Is that pretty good for you guys? Good enough?
Good enough for me.
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah.
All right, so this is going to be healed skin.
Thanks, proactive.
Get that. Proactive.
Are you gonna do the same thing that you did with that? What was that thing we did? We took the painting off the wall. Remember, there's that push shot with the lamp and stuff.
It is different than that.
Okay.
Yep. I do remember that. This is going to be different. Okay, so now, I think when I did this the first time around, I did only her cheek and cropped everything else out. So I think this time what I'm going to do is leave the shot full frame, and I think we'll do a mask on this, layer mask, and I'm going to just paint back in. Like that. Okay, so I filled this mask with black. I'm going to get my brush and just kind of paint back in what I need. Is it doing it?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Swap the color. Or painting black.
Yep.
There you go.
Sorry, I thought I'd done that. Thank you.
X.
Like that.
Line pulling.
Okay. So that's with the mask and without. Now,
Without it, just make sure it looks like she shaves twice a day or something.
yeah. So that's what I have now, right there. Okay. It doesn't look like skin, does it? Okay. So we're going to save this as a Photoshop file. Skin correction Photoshop. That's fine. And you know what? I think I'll delete that because I didn't end up needing it. Call this original shot. Save again. We're going to go back to After Effects. I have a pre-comp here. Actually, my final comp. We'll call this AE1 correction. We will save this as 2017 June AE meeting. Okay. So there we are. And like you can see well enough, I guess, that if I do like auto contrast, that's way better. Just so you know that it can get better. Once I get the
That's the actual shot, the way it was shot.
yes. Once I get some of the correction done, we'll get the levels and all that going. Okay, so now we want to import. I'm doing Command I to import this Photoshop document. I'm going to import it, composition with layer sizes, and put it down here just in case I need to go reference this stuff. But here is my skin, okay? So now what I want to do is go into this part of the project, composition, animation, track in Mocha AE. We're going to actually do some cool stuff now. There's Mocha. All right. Register later. Here we go. We're going to call this face track. Okay. Now I can, let's go forward to where that shot kind of is. Is that about it right there?
Can't tell. It's,
Yeah. Let's see.
if you scroll it in, we'll be able to see if the acne is sharp. We saw that immediately.
Yep.
So I don't think that's the frame.
So let's go back and forth to frame 2. Maybe there,
Hopefully.
roughly. All right, so now I'm going to just build a spline around her cheek.
You got any Mocha tracking?
Like this. I can either double click here or I can hit C and I'll close that. And Mocha has blown me away in some things. And this is just Mocha AE, it's not Mocha Pro. I would really love to mess around with Mocha Pro at some point. But really all I need to do now is just track forward and backward. And if I have any concerns about what's going on with the track, go in and correct it a little bit. But as you can see with that right there, it really stuck to her face pretty well, right? So then we come back here and I'll track backward.
Trent, what's the how would you describe what the difference between Mocha and your regular old school tracker is? Like, what is it?
So Mocha's a planar tracker to start off with, and that a lot of what that means is it takes blocks of image and tracks things in that image, tracks the whole image, tracks the left side of the image, tracks the right side of the image. So it can, if you are, say, maybe the early examples of Mocha where if you're tracking a truck and you were going to put a company name on the side of a truck, that you just pick the 4 corners of the truck and let Mocha go, and if it passed in front of or behind street signs or trees or phone poles or whatever, it would still track the truck through the shot because it's not going up. We're going to look at this point here, we're going to look at this point here, and if anything gets in front of that point, it goes, I don't know what's going on. So it tracks a large,
field.
a large field.
It doesn't have to be
Right.
a 4-point rectangle. It can be, I mean, you drew a Bezier curve there.
Right.
It can be that. And
So-
it's going to keep looking at it like expecting it to be that shape.
Right.
So it
also,
can lose those points and be okay, or if it loses those points, it won't be okay.
It can go.
in here,
Mhm.
okay, so
He said like let's say this is the side of a truck,
Right.
and your truck's going through a shot. There's a tree here.
Yeah.
It can go like that, and it's still going to track the truck.
Oh, okay.
and it's going to say, so it'll have a point here, but if it goes in front of, if this part goes behind the tree, it'll go, I'm not going to panic. Everything seems to be doing what it's supposed to be doing. I'll just keep this point here unless something dramatic changes.
Last thing.
Okay.
Now, because the regular tracker, it would freak out.
It would
Yeah.
freak out.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to do that, especially for this shot here. Now, if I'm just tracking a mustache on somebody's face and they're just turning their head a little bit, that's different. But for her actually moving her jaw and all that, what Mocha does is it does translation. You can maybe see a little bit down here. It does translation, scale, rotation, shear, and perspective. So it will, even though she changes the shape of her face through the shot and the angle of her face, Mocha still says, I kind of recognize what I've been looking at before, so I'm going to keep the majority of that in the frame, or try and keep all of it in the frame. Even when her chin drops down, Mocha can say, oh, nope, I kind of recognize that, so we'll just adjust.
Yeah.
And it's very, very cool, very helpful, that I don't have to go through and keyframe
fix the-
that
yeah.
track. Yeah. Because maybe the only other way to do it would be to track little pieces and kind of patchwork her face back together,
Yes.
or do a what's it called, puppet tool pin, try and track in there and bend with the puppet tool. So, all right,
Is this Mocha the Mocha AE? Is that kind of is it like a plug-in, kind of like C4D Lite?
Kind of like that, yeah. You can only use it.
Access it through AE.
You can only access it through After Effects. So we have a track. I feel pretty good about it. You guys feel pretty good about it? All right. The vote is yes. And I'm going to export tracking data. So instead of just creating out a file, which I believe Mocha could export for After Effects to import, it's exciting that I can just say After Effects corner pin with warping on Mocha import, After Effects corner pin supporting motion blur, also position, scale, and rotation data. So let's just try out some of these. We'll do this first one, corner pin only with warp and Mocha import. And I'll just do copy to clipboard. Go back to After Effects, set to the beginning of the clip. It's very important that you go to the, you paste all of this at the very beginning of whatever you started tracking, okay? Yes, paste where you started tracking. If you started tracking at the beginning of the clip, start your paste there. If you started tracking 20 frames in, do your paste there. So now all I need to do is edit and paste like that. So let's see what that did. That's pretty exciting, right?
Music video effect.
Yeah. So maybe that's not what we want. Let's go back to Mocha.
Maybe not.
Export tracking data. That one. This is probably going to do something very similar. Yeah. Kind of funny. All right. Undo. Back to Mocha. Export tracking data. This is position, scale, rotation. And then we go paste like that. Okay.
Oh, okay.
It was so totally the 90s.
All right. You did. That would be exciting. So now what we want to do is duplicate that clip. Sorry, I need to just get rid of all of the wonderful things that were on that first clip and reset everything. Just do that right there. Just drag that back in. So there's my original clip, and here's my Mocha tracked stuff. And what I need to do is line up her face. So let's see. We'll start with anchor point. Like that. Rotation. Close and scale. I'm gonna just go to 100. Line it up. Maybe rotation needs to be up. Got to make sure I select all of my keyframes here. So if I'm going to change my rotation, I have to select all my keyframes. So I change them all relative to each other. Like that. The anchor point doesn't have any keyframes, so I don't have to do that. All right, so this apparently is not what I need to do. All right, back to the board of drawings. I'm going to do this proactive here.
Excuse me.
And drop it in the shot like that. paste there. See what happens.
Oh my.
All right. So it wasn't the full shot I needed. It was just
That cleaned up.
this cleaned up piece with its little bounding box around it. Now I can set this guy up.
Did you pick Wicked to anything?
I did not.
You pasted the tracking data into it. So now the tracking data is going, okay, tracking with the cheek, and now it's making that one still frame move in place. So it looks like you pick whipped it, but
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a feathering thing? Like a
Yeah, so I think we need to do that. Looks like maybe something's going on with the bottom of the cheek or the chin.
And there's an edge all around it.
Yep.
It's when she opens her mouth and stretches outside of the cheek.
Yeah. So we'll kind of we'll get it close, and then we'll see what we need to do to it. All right. So now we're going to go back to Photoshop, and we're going to see about increasing some of the information here. So I've got my brush, and I'm going to bring back some of this. Jeremy, okay?
Just
Trent, do you ever paint your map looking at just the map to see how fuzzy it is, or
Whatever you're saying is probably the best way to do whatever I'm doing, but
by far no?
I'm not the most Photoshop. So I think what I'm going to do is go like this, get some extra.
You might have just taken out like the corner of her mouth right there.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm going to do is get some extra and then feather it in After Effects.
Oh, because you can cut back, but you can't go out.
No. No?
Can't expand. You're right. No.
No, because the layer's coming in pre-matted from Photoshop.
Yeah.
So it can only go. It can only go in.
Reduce it.
Yeah. So I'll match it up like that, and then let's do. What do we want to do? I think I want to. I want to duplicate this. No. Let's go here and do a simple choker. Choke this in like that. Use Gaussian blur now.
Not passport.
Like that. So again,
That's a not passport.
not passport anymore. They're deprecating it. Where is it?
It's an
Obsolete.
Alex,
There's my favorite plugin ever, and they put it in the obsolete folder. All right. So here we go. Zoom back out here and hit play.
not bad.
That, and just for fun, we're going to add a motion blur on there, right there. zoom in a little bit on her face. Sorry. So, do a RAM preview here.
Right when she
It
starts
looks like
moving
it's about
back,
to
there's a
grow
little bit
back. Yeah.
right there. It kind of moves on her.
Okay. So if I'm looking at this in real time, once through, in context, I probably don't notice this.
Yeah.
The fact that we're kind of staring at
Can
it.
you put the lights back on?
Yes. And I'm going to do something that I think is important. See this here where she has her little dimple there, right there? So all I want to do is come here and cut out that dimple, if I can find it. That. We'll just feather like 40. And make sure what we're looking at.
You need to invert the mask.
Yep, right. Subtract instead of minus. Make sure everybody's at 100. Maybe too much on the feather. So maybe it's using that motion, that blur too, right?
You may have to do the mask first.
Oh,
on
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
duplicated layer, just to control that piece.
So I don't know if it matters that I feather it as much as it matters that I'm okay that the blur is on there as long as I can just get that dimple to show up a little bit.
So that's there.
So, all right, it looks a little rubbery, or maybe non-rubbery. Maybe it looks stiff.
Yeah.
But so this cuts to her. You're looking at her eyes. The dimple is there,
It disappears.
and you're not all that concerned about whether or not she has acne because you don't know, right?
Yeah.
We've hidden the fact. And what we're going to do is add a layer here, make it an adjustment layer. We could just go up here and do a new adjustment layer. And do color correction, auto contrast. That.
Yeah, if you're not looking for it, then
Yeah, if you did
a little bit of color correction, you're there.
Yeah.
What's with those?
Lines?
Yeah.
I think it's because it's looping.
Oh, you're talking about the
Yeah, the
the
glitches.
playback lines? Yeah, it's just has to do with the refresh rate on the monitor.
Oh, on which monitor?
Mine.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's that one as well. But
Might have something to do with live streaming and the RAM it's using.
so let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that would improve this.
Could you do like multiple like shapes? Let's say like, I guess like her like if she moved her head a little bit, so you saw a little more or front of her chin, you know,
Yeah.
so the shape needed to change. Could rotoscope that in and out, I guess.
Maybe
You know,
so.
Yeah.
And maybe we could do. Let's try something real quick here. Let's do. We'll just hide that and make another.
I don't want to
Like
say for
another
sure, but I think
layer.
this is somewhat of how they do the de-aging on like the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Because I know it's all 2D effect. They don't build a head and then render the head out. They just go in there and paint. Kind of essentially paint in time on every frame.
Yeah.
You know, and I think they do a lot of this. I think it's tons of hours because it's shown on 8K.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
you know has to. And they also, I know they do stand-in doubles for the age, and then they do the original actor, you know, stuff. But
It's all pretty serious.
oh yeah,
A lot,
You said
very,
Marvel?
very time consuming.
those the Marvel movies, like on Guardians of the Galaxy, the first like shot there, the first like one
Where
minute
they
there.
de-aged
What's his name? Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell.
Took him back
And
to
then-
like looking like 25 years old. But they filmed
And
him.
then when they did Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, they did Robert Downey, and they did
They-
Ant-Man. Who was the Ant-Man guy?
Yeah.
Kirk Douglas. Or,
Kurt
no,
Douglas.
not Kirk Douglas.
Is Robert Downey Jr. a lot older than he looks in this film?
Well, they made him basically a teenager.
Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
They were showing the scene in his kind of virtual set. They were showing the scene where he is with his parents before they go off and die in their car crash.
And that's in Guardians?
No,
Yeah.
it's in
Iron Man 3.
Avengers. No, Captain America.
Ultron.
Civil War.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Civil War.
Yes, it's on Civil War. Yeah.
All right, so we could do maybe. Let's see. Want to add a layer? How am I going to add a layer?
Which one? Logan's great.
Logan's very good.
Logan's great. Like, if I will be upset if I don't at least hear mention of that movie during Oscar time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind if it doesn't get a nomination, but if it's just not even in the top 10 movies running, I'll be upset.
Yep. I agree. Okay, so we could do, let's say, up here. Like this. And we could call that cheek. And we could track that.
It tracks pretty fast for as pretty like smooth detail as that is, and you usually need like harsh contrast. It tracks pretty fast.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of some of the trekking projects I had to do 5 or 6 years ago, and
It's almost
that
impossible,
lighting would have been just a
Yeah.
nightmare.
And we could correct the lighting and then track it, and then maybe that would help.
Uh,
But I maybe all the information is there anyway, and Mocha can handle
That's
it.
true.
What format is the clip?
I think it's an H.264 clip.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so then I'll come back up here, and I'll go... that. And we'll just ping pong this thing.
Is this what you were
backward
talking
and
about
forward.
earlier about putting pieces of her face together?
Is this a better workflow than After Effects? It's not brand new, but the 3D tracker that is in After Effects now that can view all the different points, and you attach to one or more of those. I've only used it, I think, 2 times.
Are you talking about the camera tracker or something different?
Isn't there a 3D tracker that will track?
There is a 3D tracker that will give you camera view space.
Yes.
So if we had a camera
Yeah.
moving around in the scene,
You could map something back in, and it would rotate a 3D object. To
yes.
That won't work
It's
for this.
maybe that would be able to happen with this, but I expect that it would track the background and not give you what her face is doing. Or it would, I think it'll try and solve for a camera.
Yeah, and that's a different.
And we
that's
can
a-
we can test it out. We can try. That's fine with me. I just if there's a question, let's see if we can figure it out. So we'll do
What is that?
that there. Track this guy. It's kind of getting tedious. I hope that the result is interesting. This one's taking a little bit longer. Just kind of in the meantime, there are things you can do with just the After Effects standard 2-point rotation scale position tracker that are you can do things that are more advanced than what it appears like on the surface. Let's see. Let's see if I have Cyclops is what I'm looking for. Yeah, here. So it's a little bit it's small. That's what I started with. And then adjusted the did some kind of patching and stuff like that, and ended up with so I mean that was back before any of the Mocha tracking and stuff like that. So maybe
So is
you
that
can-
your version of mad scientist experiment on your sign?
right. Yeah, it's a nice kid. We liked him when we had him. So this is. Why does it always have to go dark? I don't know.
Why we had
Cheek top. Just kidding.
What happened to the kid?
Just kidding. He's still with us. This is chin. And this is cheek lower. Like that.
Are these rotoscopes?
These are rotoscopes.
Okay.
And then I think I need to do one more here. That. We'll just track that guy backward. See what happens. I'm kind of leaving a little space for that dimple that shows up. So I think the dimple helps sell the realism. If there were no dimple, it would just look kind of flat and plasticky, right? I wonder if that's tracking, if it'll keep tracking, and I can show you a couple of the other shots. And how can I turn the sound off on this?
It is tracking the background.
There should be a mute button at the top.
So
On your
yeah,
keyboard.
I have some stuff going on
Disregard.
with my audio setup, but you can see that's Mocha tracked, feathered in, looks pretty good.
I was gonna say, why haven't you ever acting?
She rubbed off on makeup.
The light coming down on her chin looks that little peninsula there.
Right.
Where?
No, coming down on her chin.
Oh,
Yeah,
here.
that, yeah.
It's like a
crescent moon.
Yeah, it does
Yeah.
look a little bit like a crescent moon.
And there might be a way. There might be a way to deal with that by changing the blending mode of the smooth skin
Yeah.
that's over it. Just might take some playing with,
Yeah.
so that it retains the dark and lightness underneath.
Wow.
So you already did this one?
That looked good.
And then this is, so this one was interesting because the light changes on her face, and I'll
Yeah.
show you the original so you can tell that actually did something. So there's the original. You can see
Yeah.
Yeah,
I-
it
I
moves
guess you can
across
see
the
that-
face.
it's kind of grungy there. And then if we switch over, let's see. Smooth skin. I don't know. Can you guys see that? Go back and watch this on YouTube or crowd around my computer. But what I had to do is take some of her forehead, I believe. I took some of her forehead and put it down here so that when she turns, the light changes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The highlight change.
Yeah.
Shifts. That's great.
So just little kind of maybe silly tricks I'm gonna
Just kind of improvising for a shot.
improvise.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure how this is gonna work. We're gonna try this together and see what happens. So we have cheek top. We will export that tracking data and come here with our
Yeah,
shot.
the camera tracker is tracking for the background, not for
Not for
a
the
specific
foreground.
point that you want to
Yeah.
tie to.
And I believe there's some kind of tricks you can do to maybe adjust that.
Yeah, but for trying to match it to something in the foreground, then Mocha's got to do that faster.
I think so. All right. Fingers crossed. We don't know what's going to happen here. So I'm just going to go back to the beginning and paste. Then I'm not sure what it's doing. I think we'll just need to adjust position a little bit on this. Again, I've selected all of the keyframes by clicking the transform property.
Ben, have you done that yet? That is fantastic.
Scoot that into place,
You're adjusting all your keyframes relative.
and maybe let's see what happens.
Does that keyframe thing where you adjust it all relative to each other by selecting them all, does that work in Premiere too?
I do not know. Anybody else have any ideas on that? So we'll feather that like that. So maybe that's okay. See what happens. We'll just keep going. This. Duplicate and remove all of these guys. And go back here. Just select cheek back. Export, copy, and paste. So we have our mask on there. Make sure we get rid of that. Hi-ya! We'll adjust our scale and our position.
An allergic reaction to the beat.
Not so much here or here, but right in
So maybe a little smaller. Maybe it's looking for 100%. So we'll try that. Yes, sir? Yes, sir? Yes, sir? It is only set up for RT guest to happen. Have you been trying to get Wi-Fi the whole time?
Mm-hmm.
I would prefer that you just hang out and watch the tutorials. Okay. So now we'll go here. That. Sorry. There. And quantity for rotation is also messed up a little bit.
Random question.
Yes,
How
ma'am.
many shots did you have to do? Like
5 shots.
5 shots? Okay.
They weren't very long each, but they were enough. They were different. So it was enough to need to be done, but not so much that I couldn't look maybe like a hero doing it. If that kind of makes sense.
That's a great.
Yes,
That's a
great
great gauge for a
analogy.
project.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a look at this.
Almost looks a little more natural.
It's doing something
Oh,
Yeah, it's-
interesting there. I don't know what that is. So let's paste that again.
Is it acne removal in real time? You know, it's like there, it's fading away. That could be an effect. You know, the fade away acne in one shot.
Yeah. But she's getting more acne. It's weird.
'Cause it moves stuff.
Could be good, like special effects.
That's the compare your space cleaner product is actually working backwards.
That's a rare occasion. It should just happen to be the 1% where that happens to.
Massive electric reaction.
This is when you don't tell a lady, like, we're gonna have an artist for 5 days cleaning up your acne.
Yeah, right.
Probably doesn't do much for her self-esteem.
So
We call that color correction.
I'm not sure what's going on with this, but this does not look like it's going to be the solution.
The multi-part thing.
Yeah, the multi-part thing.
Trying to catch too many.
Yeah, I don't know exactly why, but I think this.
Traffic picked up something extra.
Yeah.
The full skin graft is the way to go.
For this particular one, we're going to take the skin off of her, like, right shoulder, and put it on her face.
How
I mean,
Pretty
that's what they do in
serious.
plastic surgery.
So, okay,
That's cool.
we did it. We also tried something that was fun. We figured out that approach didn't work for this particular situation, but you know, it exists. That approach exists. Maybe it'll be the approach for some other situation. Okay. All right. So now we also have some shots of me. 'Cause
Oh my.
I didn't think you saw or heard enough of me.
Oh my.
So what I did is I put a little dot on my face here. We're going to try and get rid of that dot, and we might do something else with this. But to start with, boy, how about that salt and pepper? So let's go
Who
from
took the footage for you?
here. My buddy Caleb up here at the office,
Nice.
just on the iPhone.
Nice.
It's not Caleb Power, is it?
Caleb Davis. So we'll just go here like that. And new hotkey in 2017. I think I can go like that. Shift Command X or Shift Control X. See what it does here. Set my work area out.
Oh, trim comp to work area.
Trim comp to work area.
Cool.
Pabam.
Mhm.
And there's my pre-comp. I'll composite that again, and we'll call this trim adjustment. There's no correction that can be made here. Guys, I don't know what you're thinking. So we're going to use the After Effects Face Tracker.
need to correct any part of you.
That's right, buddy. That's what I'm talking about. So we're gonna do track motion, I think is what we want to do. And we'll come to here and do track type. Is that it? Let's see. I think we need to do a mask here. So let's see, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Open this layer and start without trackers. Put a mask on there. That so fun.
Does it matter which frame you set the mask on?
It only matters if I set it on a face forward frame. I think that's all that matters. So it needs its default look. Okay. So now we go here to motion. Because I put that mask on there, I can actually track with just the mask, or I can go to outline only for face tracking and detailed features. So let's do detailed features. We're going to set rest pose.
Okay. And that's what you're talking about, picking the right frame.
Correct.
Yeah.
So then we can track forward and backward here. Like that. We'll set down here to this keyframe and we'll track forward.
Finally, give me that face tattoo you've always
I
wanted.
know, right? All right, so now we get to see the fun of having my face track mask on there.
It's really good.
Beware the creepy floating disembodied head.
Disembodied head. That is right. All right. So now I have some track points here, and we can, I believe, we can even see them. Like that, and we can do stuff with these points. So let's see, what should we do? I want to get rid of this guy here. So maybe we can freeze frame this. We'll pre-comp it. And like that. And then let's see. I think I want to just put a mask here, feather it. This is just, I'm seeing if I can do this in After Effects without having to go over to Photoshop. And we'll kind of do what Photoshop does with the healing tool.
So you just slid the layer out of position.
Correct.
To capture the skin above that area.
Yeah. We can hide that with our view options here. I can turn off my layer controls like that by also doing Shift Command H or Shift Control H on Windows. And then if I'm using my pan behind tool, which is this guy here.
Looks perfect like that.
Yeah, looks pretty good. We're okay with that so far?
I believe
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just going to go a layer time freeze frame. Like that. And we'll go back here. I'm going to set this guy to what I want to do here. I want to use some of these points to make sure it's in the right spot. Pardon the pun. So. Let's average some of these points. So this is going to be nostril, right nostril maybe? That's left nostril. Hey, it's mirrored my face and said, hey, this is his left nostril. So with left nostril there,
So does the label actually say left
it
nostril?
says left nostril.
Oh,
it's pretty
I
nice.
can even, if I can, so I can zoom in here. See, there's left nostril, nose tip, got mouth left and right, top, bottom. And so with my nose here, back out like that. And I'm going to put a null in. Go layer, new, null. And this is going to be left nostril. And I'm going to set my position of my null with an expression. To the left nostril, okay? So I want it to be I think that's all I need to do. Let's see if yeah. So now the null sticks to the left nostril. Like that. And then we can also do, let's figure out what this is going on up here. That guy, so that's going to be cheeks and chin, left cheek top, probably. Yep. Left cheek top, and I'm going to, looks like I can't copy that name, so I'll just come here, call this left cheek top. And now I'll copy that and go. Just going to paste that there, copy that, and right there. There we go. So I have this comp, layer Trent. The effect is face track points and left cheek top.
Stage left.
Say again?
Stage left.
Stage left.
No, that's why I
Say,
I
so
didn't.
it's doing it that way, right? So now I'll take this, which is my spot fix, and I'm going to set an anchor point. I can get rid of the mask there, and I'll move my anchor point with my pan behind tool over here. So I want to make sure you guys understand what's going on with the pan behind tool. Raise your hand if you have a solid grasp on the pan behind tool. Yes? Okay. So let's go look at the pan behind tool real quick. And just create a new comp. And the pan behind tool to start with can change the location of your anchor point. Okay. So if I select this, I can change my anchor point around like that. When I put my anchor point, wherever I have my anchor point set, that's where we rotate, scale, move around. Okay. But also with the pan behind tool, and you can see here my position and anchor point. When I move my pan behind tool, my anchor point and my position also change. Okay. So what it's doing is dynamically updating itself and saying, oh, he's moving the anchor point, but I'm going to leave the layer in place. So I'm going to dynamically update the position as well. So the layer stays where it's supposed to be, but the anchor point moves. All right.
So what happens if you manually change the anchor point without the
So that's manually changing the anchor point.
So you can use it as an offset type tool, but when you use the pan behind it, makes it visually stay the same. It just allows you to change
Right.
where that.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
One more time.
So pan behind tool, if you need to adjust the anchor point, you can come down here and drag the anchor point
And then remove
values around, right? But you see that it's moving the layer, correct?
Right.
It's adjusting the anchor point within the boundaries of the shot, but it's keeping the anchor point in place in relationship to the boundaries of the comp.
So you don't overshoot it.
Well,
it.
yeah, there's so many different ways to use your anchor point that After Effects tries to help you intelligently. Okay, so if I just want to move my anchor point around like this to my eyeball, like that, then I've manually, with my anchor point X and Y properties, moved to that point. Now my boundaries of my comp are in one spot. The anchor point stayed, the position and the anchor point stayed in one spot. We can reset this and show you again. Okay, I can also do Shift Command Option H or G, and that'll reset my size and my position to fill the frame. Okay, but you see my anchor point is still on my eye. Now, if my anchor point doesn't need to be there, if I say my anchor point needs to be here on this dot, I can adjust like this. Put the anchor point like that. But you see, adjusting these values here moved the layer in relationship to the boundaries of the composition. It moved the anchor point in relationship to the boundaries of the shot, the clip, and left the position where it was. So in relationship to the center of the comp, the anchor point is staying in position. Okay? But it's changing where it is in the shot, therefore it has to adjust the shot up, right, up, down, left, right. Okay? So now we're going to reset all this. No, it's good. It's good. This is good stuff for you guys to know.
Yeah, anchor point can do a lot, and After Effects, like you said, can use the anchor point in a lot of ways. So
Yeah.
sometimes pan behind is the quick way to do it, sometimes it's not what you want.
Right. So if I get my pan behind tool, what this does is it changes the anchor point and the position value to leave my shot in the same location. Okay. Previously, if I changed my anchor point, my shot would move and the anchor point would stay
Where it is.
in relationship to the boundaries of the composition. My anchor point stays and my shot moves. Like I've got a shot of, a sheet of, what's the thing in the library, the microfiche? Yeah, so your viewer stays in one spot and you spin the microfiche, right?
Microfiche.
the old newspapers, and you zoom in.
Library.
Oh, the thing that.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you could go
Okay, stop.
the little teeny tiny magnifies the newspapers so you can see what's going on from old issues, but they don't.
You know, like
have,
in movies when they look it
It's
up.
that
Anyway.
thing with the projector.
Yeah.
I got you.
And we got way
That's
off
what it
topic
was.
on that.
Sorry.
Microfiche, all right, or microfilm. All right. So if I grab the
Trent,
yes, sir.
Just one more question before we resume. Is there a way to group layers together without necessarily recomposing, just for organizational purposes? Like grouping a bunch of layers together into one master layer for a hidden subgroup of layers.
I think there is a script or plugin that you can do that will do that. But you can also, I hadn't gotten back to you because I've been thinking about it.
Okay.
And let's go here. I think this is going to be a kind of a hack way to do this, but we'll do it anyway. We'll just set up like this, and we'll do another one and make it like that. We're doing just making solids here. And let's say that I have a bunch of these guys here. Like this. Okay? And I want to group all of these here underneath this solid. The caveat here is that they all have to do something with this solid. Okay? So they would all have to be parented to this solid.
Okay.
Okay? For this, I think, for this to work. There may be
Alright.
other uses, but so we'll say that these with red solid, we'll call this red solid A. We'll call this red solid B, like that. And so we want all these to be grouped under here. Okay, right? So I'll parent these guys to him, like that. I'll parent these guys to him. And then each of these, I'm going to shy, like that. And then turn on the shy guy.
Yes, that's good.
Okay? So I can't twirl down and see those like you would think nesting layers would do, but I can unshy and they show back up.
Yeah.
Okay? I've seen something, I don't know how it works or what it's called, but I've seen something, maybe a script or something, that will take these guys and do like a tab over. Maybe you can twirl up and down and see that, but anybody know what it is?
I don't know what that is, but that's
It's like layer nester or something like that. I believe you could find it on AE scripts, but I'm hoping that is kind of what you're looking for to solve your problem.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right. Back to pan behind tool, anchor points and position. So we move this, anchor point stays in relationship to where it is in the comp, but the layer moves. Now if we have the pan behind tool, I grab the anchor point, the picture, the layer stays in the same relation to where it should be in the comp, but the anchor point and the position value change. See that?
Yes.
In order to update and make sure that the picture stays in the right spot. Okay, good? Got that? Now, what I can do is, I'm just gonna reset these guys again. And we're gonna put a mask on here. Like, might as well just do that. Now I can pan behind the mask. Okay, that's why it's called the pan behind tool. It's going to leave the mask in place and change the anchor point and position values and update everything based on where the mask is. Okay? So normally, if I update this here, it moves the mask. Right? If I change the position, we're moving the mask. But if I use the pan behind tool, I pan behind the mask. The mask stays in the same place, like a little viewport. Okay? So that's what I was doing.
It's microfish.
Microfish. That's what I was doing to get this to happen here, to get the dot to go away. Right? Okay. So then, instead of changing with my pan behind, sorry, with my anchor point like this, I have this spot fix already in place, and I want to change where my anchor point is in relationship to the spot fix. That, because what I'm going to do is get an average of these 2 points. So here in position, I'm going to say, sorry, don't have any spaces there, position 1 equals, and I'll pick top cheek dot position, like that. Okay, and I'm going to zoom in here so you guys can see what's going on. Okay. So then we'll copy this, add a new line. This is going to be left nostril. Okay. Make that position 2. And you can see that now it's set to left nostril down there. What I'm going to do is average them. So I'll say, these are my variables, I have to name them correctly. In parentheses, position 2 plus position 1 divided by, no, let's do times 0.5. And I tend to, that's not what I'm supposed to do. I tend to, by 2, is that gonna work? I tend to multiply times my,
Position 1 has a space.
oh yeah, thank you. I tend to multiply times whatever point value instead of dividing by whole numbers, because if you set it up with division and then you go to another variable or slider or some other thing, eventually, don't know the circumstances, but eventually you're going to divide by 0 and it's going to break your expression. If you multiply times 0, no problem. But if you ever get to a divide by 0, it'll break your expression. Go in here.
I thought you were going to say it'll break your computer or
It
break
might.
the universe.
It might break the universe. So I can divide by 2 here because I've got my my variable is static. It's not going to change, but let's just, for practical purposes, we'll multiply times 0.5, and you can see that the anchor point stays right there in between those two things. Now it appears as if this is not the solution. We'll try a little bit and see what happens. Okay, so that's not exactly working for me. So maybe if I go to left cheek, I can maybe do an offset on this. So I'll set these to 0 and then offset by my value. L plus value. So right now it's nothing. L plus nothing is just the same. but I kind of am interested in this point down here. So I'll bring that down there, like that. Maybe a little higher up. And then spot fix. Change the anchor point back up here. Okay, so that's not working like I wanted it to. I'm trying to remember, were any of you guys here when we put the mask on my face? Anybody remember that?
You mean that day long ago, the
Long.
clown mask?
Yeah. You remember that?
Yeah. I liked that.
That was a good one. That was a good one. I'm trying to recreate that here.
What can I say? I love clowns.
All right. This needs to be okay. I think I know what happened. I think I know what we did. So I'm going to come back here and crop this here. Composition crop comp, like that. And then go back here. And I think maybe we use the puppet tool. Is that right, Jeremy?
Yeah.
Okay. So instead of these here, I'm going to do a puppet tool on this guy. And with the puppet tool, is that right? Effect, there we go. Go like this. Let's see. Okay, it's coming back to me. All will be revealed. So I think I go here like this, kind of match up. That, and then I'm going to get rid of background and use my puppet tool to track some stuff. Okay, so nostril, we said left nostril, it's right there. So I'm going to kind of eyeball this. Put a puppet tool pin there. Get rid of that. So I have a puppet tool. Did I get rid of it? Come on, guy. Doing it, guys. I don't see any puppet pins. Maybe it doesn't like it. Puppet pin tool. There we go. Now we have a mesh. Okay, so then we have left cheek top. There, and I wonder if it'll let me put a pin there. It won't. Okay. Let's back up. Make this bigger. Come on. All right. Do that right there. I'm going to crop. I'm going to line this up. I had my position expression still on there.
You seemed a bit two-faced for a second there.
All right, so now let's check that nostril, left nostril there. That's where my null is. And I actually like to use nulls to figure out where to put my puppet pins. So I'll just drop that right there. And then I'll do another one there. And then we can just kind of go through here and see which ones we like. Let's see, maybe I want to do one on the eye. So left eye, that'll be not there, left eye, there's that guy right there. So it's called left eye outer. And I can just go into my null expression here and say left eye outer, like that. So now I know where my puppet pin needs to go. Do it. Puppet. Add pin. Okay. And then maybe let's see if there's a lower cheek. This guy right here is what I would like to mess with. And that is left cheek middle. So I'll come here. Just say left cheek middle. Like that. So now I can see where my pin goes. Like that. Now copy this expression and figure out my pins. So this position, they always come with, anytime you put a puppet pin in, it'll give you a keyframe. So if you just want to twirl down your puppet pins, you can hit U, and it'll give you the, it'll twirl down the keyframes. Then I'm going to go like this, and paste that left cheek middle. I think that's right. Okay. Yeah. Should have been the right spot right there. So we'll do maybe it is in relationship to, yeah, so I need to add a value in there and adjust by the value. Because this value here is in the 300s range because my comp is so small right there. So I'll just do L plus value like that. Send these guys back to 0, and then just adjust this until we get in the right range. Does that make sense? Kind of.
Yeah.
So I'm using my offset values to line that pin back up. So then we'll go to this, we'll copy, all right? Copy that. and this is going to be my eyeball. So left eye, is it outer or lower? Didn't throw an error, so I guess it's goes up here, and I can even reset my null to get everything back in the right location by saying just copy that right there and put it here. Now I can line that up like so. We have left nostril. It's going to be that one. Let's go ahead and do that, since we know what that is. Paste. Call this left nostril. 0 it out like that, and bring it back in. I wonder if it's the same values. Minus 837, minus 838. So we'll just go minus 838 and minus 319. Is that right? Yep. Okay. 838 and 319 is my offset, and there's probably a little bit of math I could do to get that to work out easily for me. And then we have one more, and that's the cheek top, left cheek top. So we'll go here, left cheek top, and then go back here to our pivot tool. So the keyframe, or set an expression at left cheek top, and was it minus 318 and minus something? No, 837 minus 837 and minus 318. That. And now, what we'll do, let's see what that looks like. So there is my spot. Right there. And nope. There. So now I just need to do a little 2-up here by locking this view and then opening, which one is this? Trent Comp 1. Should be a pre-comp. I can call that Trent Spot Fix. I'm going to open that guy and then move him over here like this. So I've got a 2-up here, and I can see what happens when I grab this and move it over. Okay, I'll close that, and here we are. All right. So now, fingers crossed, because this is a long way to go to get to this. Fingers crossed that when I hit playback, we actually get something reasonable. Let's see how long it stays. Only moments.
Look like it grows on your face.
Okay, so I wonder what the deal is here with this thing. And if
The patch that you have on there, that's footage, right? It's not a still.
Yeah, I think I froze it. Yeah, I froze it, so it shouldn't be moving.
I think you might making it bigger to like take up more surface area.
Yeah, let's try that.
Maybe you could keyframe its position.
Yeah, I might be able to do that
too,
too, and
but
that
it
would
be less.
keyframe the position, and then it would, maybe that would, it would adjust the perspective as well.
Why wouldn't you just do some kind of standard tracking of that point?
Standard tracking?
Yeah, like 2D.
I'm trying to get a little more perspective on it. So let's see. Now that's not saying I'm doing it right. I'm just trying something exciting, right? So let's look here.
Could
Have
you
our
please
mask.
pardon me for a minute?
Yes.
Thanks.
So I want to be able to see my mask. My view options, masks. There we go.
We're keying what's it say?
Yeah, that looks
Something like chroma key area, kind of. Well, it's not. It's not chroma. It's mattes. Mattes.
yeah, look like a Luma mat.
Mm-hmm.
That is not what I want to do. There. Yep, that's not doing what I want. Okay. So because that's not doing what it should, let's see what happens if I just get rid of the mask altogether. Let's see about just sitting this thing correctly in frame. With a still frame, freeze frame. I was thinking about this the other day. I make my kid try and get stuff right the first time, a lot of times. And then I was thinking to myself, you know, when I'm doing this stuff at my office, I spend a lot of time just going, nope, that didn't work. Well, let's try that. Nope, that didn't work. Let's try something else.
Mhm.
And so I would like to encourage you guys that when you are working on something, don't get frustrated. Either just try something else or get in touch with one of us. Bounce the idea off of somebody and say, you know, I'm trying this. I've maybe tried this thing. What would you do differently? Because a different perspective helps, and just not thinking, man, with my knowledge I have, I can't make this happen, because I feel like I know After Effects pretty well, but I have to try things 3 or 4 times sometimes just to make sure that I get to the right solution for me. All right, let's just see what this looks like. We are deforming. But this deform
You got that right.
is weird, and I wonder.
Now, that's what I call deforming.
So Trent, what's the intended purpose of the face track? What is it designed to do most efficiently?
Like color correction as well as like character animation too.
I mean,
Yeah.
is it an objective to give you some kind of a 3D camera that moves with the face?
No.
Why
Like-
would you like have a
got someone who's got recognized because they went skiing, that level of control, you could dial in some masks and do some color correction to fix their sunburn.
Yeah, that's a lot of it, I think. But then even like doing some sunglasses. Probably is another use case, and using this information here, up there, these guys to track the glasses. So if I put maybe that right there, and go, that's the position.
So I think the answer to the question then is it's to track certain features on the face. Correct.
Correct.
Okay. So I guess again I ask, couldn't you just use a standard tracker to track that dot on the face?
Yeah.
And
I
that's
can.
essentially what you're trying to do.
Yes, I can, but the way I'm trying to use this, I should be getting a little more perspective from the track, and maybe I'm not using it correctly yet for this, because we had done some interesting things with it before. I thought that what I was going to do tonight was just going to fall into place.
I think we're just having a problem is like when you got the tracks or when you got the points kind of separated.
Yeah.
And then when they start getting closer, when the perspective starts getting more slanted, it doesn't know what to do. Where that's why it's like warping so much.
Yeah.
And
I don't know how to go past that. But
how are you going to deal with the way your head's turning around and you're getting that? You're going to have to get that mask to like rotate around, almost like in Z space.
Well, I would use at that point the mask. When the mask covers the dot, then I use the mask as the track mat. You know, so as it goes past the mat, then it disappears off into, behind my face.
Gotcha.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm not that happy with how the track worked, because all this grungy stuff over here on the edges is kind of.
So is the face
You might just
tracker,
have to embrace your little Corby.
I know.
is
Put 'em
the
up
face
here.
tracker just giving you 2D data then? 2D data points?
Yes,
Gorby? What's
Mikhail Gorbachev.
Gorbachev, he was
He had
a
a-
Russian leader of the Soviet Union. He had a big old splotch on his head.
Big birthmark.
So I'm thinking, Trent, because of that
Still
fact,
not.
you're
It's a
you're
big
not
red.
going to get that perspective you're wanting out of it because
Yeah.
the data is not really designed to do that. Because you almost need to have like the cover for the spot.
Yeah.
Needs to actually track in 3D space and like turn with the face.
Yeah, I feel like I've gotten results before in 2D that kind of mimicked 3D.
Yeah.
But
I think you're on the right track with this.
so there, I just tracked that thing, and I'm gonna drop that in there, and we'll say this tracker edit target to be the null, and hit apply. So now the null should go with, yep, did I not apply? There we go. Okay. So now I'm just going to copy. I could have just put that here on spot fix. that. And get that guy back. Still, oh, I wonder if it has to do with the anchor point. Oh, the puppet tool's still on there. Let's get rid of that. There.
Yeah, stay closer.
Okay, so it's
You're not turning with it as it turns.
so now if I take that guy right there and use him as a track mat.
Oh, yeah.
Not any perspective change on there, but like maybe is that closer to the result we want? Anybody?
It does look like it.
Animate and shape to just.
It's almost like we need an expression that like knows when those 2 points get closer, it rotates it more, and it's higher level math than I know right now.
Yeah,
I'm sure if we did a Google for
I'm-
30 minutes, we probably could find it.
I'm sure I'm so smart that I could do it, but
Yeah.
I'm just nervous. I'm just nervous right now. So
I mean, what you need is like a 3D track of the face. So you need to have the nose, the eyes,
Yeah.
to kind of create a 3D.
I think there's a way to get there, though. I mean,
Well, now
How
the camera's
if I knew more
the
about
camera's
the
moving.
Yeah.
Your face is probably moving some, but the camera's doing the main motion. So now the camera tracker apply. You could use the camera tracker.
all right, let's try that. Let's see if the camera tracker can handle this.
Your face is moving too, but largely it's the camera moving.
So really what I want to do is I think I want to duplicate this and get rid of everything involved here. And track camera.
It's like, you know, when you did that single point track, I remember one of my first major tracking projects that
Yeah.
was like a 30-minute coffee break. That you just did
Oh, to let it track?
10 seconds later,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, it's done already.
I did get a tip recently that if you're tracking something and your track area is pretty big, then After Effects can start bogging down during the track. And if you just stop it and start the track again,
Oh, yeah.
then you'll get some quicker tracking out of it. Also, sometimes just letting the tracker run will cause problems with the track. But if you start noticing your problems, back up to the last point where your track was good, and then start tracking again from there, or do a single frame track a couple times. Maybe you have to adjust a little bit, but doing your single frame track will get a lot closer than just let it run sometimes. All right, let's see. Create Nolan camera.
Ooh, you lost it pretty fast.
So that didn't work exactly.
It's probably because of the parallax.
Yeah.
So what if you took your face tracking that you did earlier, which it's got a mask around your face, and there's no background, and then do that 3D tracking on that.
Okay.
Or it might end up back in
Yeah. So I'll do that right there.
Look, you could probably turn your cheek into a plane.
And go. It's almost time for us to go, guys, just so you know. this is just my face, and I'm going to expand it like that. I wonder if so. Then I'll do inverted alpha. How about that? And drag this. Kind of looks like I got a bag on my head.
The headless trench
Trent,
man.
I was actually thinking to actually track the face because that's the 3D you want to track. Again.
Track the face.
'Cause
So
you're gonna get- you're
crop
gonna get
crop in on the face.
Yeah, like just use the face. And then,
Okay.
yeah, because this is gonna be based on the background, and the parallax is gonna be weird with that.
Looks like you have a black solid mask on.
That was funny. So then relieve that stuff.
I
Go back
wonder
here.
if they have more dots on the face. How would you get one on
The
the face?
tracker just automatically figures out what it wants to do.
Right, but my friend, he did this shot where they have like these Polaroids in the shot, and the actor's just messing with the Polaroid.
Yeah.
But then they wanted a different image on the Polaroid.
Oh man.
And I mean, he tried for half a day, maybe more of a day doing After Effects stuff, tracking stuff.
Uh-huh.
In the end, he just had to send it to Boju and have it track, for like, I don't know, good 4 or 5 hours.
Okay.
This is what it kind of reminds me of.
You've got a cone of
Wait. Hold on.
It's like the cone of shame we put on our pets when they come to the vet.
Your floating disembodied face is trapped inside an orange screen.
It's part of the universe.
Hold on.
You can't hold it in. And trick.
That's not what I want to do. I want to go like this. There we go.
Nice lines, man.
Rawr. I don't know.
Hail Aslan.
All right. Yes. So then, how do we match it to my face here? Is it forward? Is it backward?
You'll need to turn it on an angle to match that
Change
plane
the
of your
position
face,
just a tad.
or
Yeah.
where the spot is. It's interesting.
Let me at him. All right. So then we'll go get the skin and put the spot fix in here. See if we can find the spot in 3D space. Okay, it's out in front. Set it back, move it over. Move it down,
Man, this is really creepy.
like that.
I think it's coming together.
That's pretty close.
All right, let's zoom in on that.
There's your mole.
Mola.
It's like mo.
This might be the After Effects group's version of Al Capone's vault.
Fail.
It's coming together. It's really starting to take shape. No pun intended.
All right.
That was cool.
So that's what we did. I feel like next time, man, we went through a lot of stuff. You guys hung with me. Thank you. Thank you for your suggestions. And I think maybe next time we'll start here and do something like a little zombie thing. Okay? So maybe we'll do like faces eaten away and there's a little depth to it. See if we can do a little something like that.
With a scarab
Scarab.
running up through there like a mummy.
Yeah. I don't like it.
Just
We
one,
can do it.
just a worm. How about that?
Yeah.
Just a worm.
Skip the tacos.
Yeah, and I'm wondering.
Or maybe
A taco coming through.
or maybe a fake tattoo.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we go just real
Pretty
quick,
cool.
like here, and do.
Yeah.
You have interesting eyebrows, my friend.
Like that. And we put that in 3D. We copy that position. And bring it forward and over. Maybe a little. That. And a color burn.
I think so.
Put the orange thing back on. Let's see the two of them together.
Oh, I think it's
The
gone.
orange shape.
I got rid of it. I don't know why I got rid of it, but I got rid of it. Hey, so I told my wife that she drew her eyebrows on too high. She looked surprised. What's the heaviest Chinese dish? The heaviest Chinese food dish?
The heaviest?
Wonton soup.
Oh. What's Bruce Lee's favorite drink?
I thought
What?
that was a
What's Bruce Lee's favorite drink?
Anybody?
favorite drink.
Never heard of this one.
No? No?
No.
Go.
What?